don't give a fuck, that you don't give a fuck about what my favorite one is. You're gonna turn that down a little bit. Put it on like 8.
It's not even. Hold on.
Just put it on 8. Just make it quiet. Okay, 11 works too.
That relaxes me.
AJ, sing the theme song.
To what?
To the ya. To the ya.
Oh.
Shack it.
Yah shack, baby, yah shack.
Okay, do that, but do it better. Do it again, but do it better.
Oh, you're talking about yah shack, baby, yah shack.
That's the one. Welcome to Yare Shack, everybody. It's the podcast that we make where we talk about whatever the fuck we want because fuck you, that's what we do. I'm Brad.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Nick, and that's actually Cooper.
Pikachu's name is Cooper.
Cool. What's up, Pikachu? Alright. AJ, you told me earlier you had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but I was telling Brad about this earlier, and it was if you could pick a game that is your like one of your favorites, that could be remastered or just completely redone from the ground up, what would it be?
A game I could redo and be one of my favorites.
Like if it's a game that's
Any game you want, remastered or remade.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same thing.
Well, I mean, when I say remade, I mean kind of like what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, where it's kind of.
Oh, that's not even close.
But you know what I'm
They
saying?
they call it a remake, but it's more of a
I'm glad you asked me a question, then you guys started talking.
No, he's asking a question in general, but now I need to clarify.
Medal of Honor.
Need
Rising
to clarify that the remake of Final Fantasy VII is less of a remake and more of a retelling.
Yeah, I was just going by like how the game looks compared to how it did before.
Because they're telling it in parts.
Yeah.
And they're adding all this extra content, like part 1, which is just going to be all the stuff that happens on Midgar, which is like the beginning of the game. But they said it's going to be a full-fledged, like, 70-hour game just on Midgar.
Golly.
But because of that, right? And they're like opening it up and making it explorable and shit. But because of that, part 2 and stuff that would assumably be the stuff that happens after they leave Midgar and further on might not come out for like another couple of years. Like it could be 10 years before we get part 2.
That's
especially
true.
with the way they develop fucking stuff.
Yeah, and for as long as it took them.
What?
Is that Ninja?
I'm talking while you guys are playing.
What?
What?
I'm playing while you guys are talking. It's like a fucking cursor game.
So you're just gonna play your Xbox during our podcast?
No, I'm listening.
We're not. We're getting things from everybody.
I know, and I'm waiting on my time to reply, but you won't listen, so.
Wow.
Me and Brad were just explaining to what we
I know,
actually
you
mean
shut
by
up.
this.
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, I've played this game before.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Not really.
I gets there. I promise.
I know. I used to.
Okay, AJ, since you brought up the question, why don't you give us your answer first?
Well, y'all already know that I would love to see a remaster or remake of Donkey Kong 64.
Why?
Because it is a good game.
It really is.
It really is. And here's why I say that. It's a game that you could literally spend hours on. The only reason the original is not that great is because there's a lot of issues. It felt like a rushed game. Meaning, there's a lot of spots where you could be on a vine, like swinging to go grab another one, and you'll go at the vine. You won't grab it, you'll just go through and fall.
So
like,
what
you're
telling me is that the game is a good game, even though it's not a good game. That's what you just said.
Like, story-wise, it's a really good game.
It's really not. It's just, they stole our bananas, we gotta go get them. Same fucking Donkey Kong story every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got Princess Peach, we better go get her.
I would still like to see it remade. But I think I would actually more want to see, like...
That game is just, I don't care what anybody says, that game is not good. None of those games are just not well made.
Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong 64?
Yeah, I don't remember any of them.
Banjo-Kazooie?
I played them all. Don't get me wrong, I played them all, but I don't remember a thing from it. Nothing was interesting.
I mean, I have no nostalgia for these properties at all, so objectively speaking, I can say they're terrible. They're not well made. They're not fun to play.
Nothing was well made.
That's a load of bullshit.
That is not. I'm going to be honest and say this. I played Final Fantasy VII, and it's not as great as everybody says it is.
Well, of course it isn't.
I always hate hearing everybody like, it's the greatest game. I'm like, it's really not.
But I will say, Mario 64, or whatever the fuck it's called,
Yeah. Super Mario
is
64.
way better than Donkey Kong 64. Will ever be.
But you have guns in Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
It
I can
does.
fire a coconut.
Yeah. It's awesome to fire a coconut.
It's
what
really
does Mario do?
It's
Nothing.
a shit gun that sucks.
Mario does nothing.
We played that game together. We sat there and played the multiplayer, and you yourself agreed
Yeah.
that this was shit.
The multiplayer is garbage.
It plays the exact same.
The main game? No, it plays
Yeah.
different.
It's the same controls. It's the same slow-ass moving mechanics and weird, ugly-looking...
To be fair, every game from that moves slow.
Mario moves really fast.
I've never moved fast playing as Mario.
Just don't want to play Mario.
Unless you're talking about speedrunners.
No, you just... The movement in Mario is so well done, and the jumping mechanics and everything just flows together so well. And Donkey Kong is just so slow and sluggish and janky.
He's not as slow as Chunky.
Okay.
But what I
I
was
meant
gonna-
the game in general. I wasn't specifically talking about Donkey Kong.
But what I was gonna say was, if I was actually given an option, I would actually want the original 3 from the Super Nintendo to be remade.
Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah.
You know what? Those are way better than Donkey Kong 64,
Yeah,
so
I mean-
I would accept that.
I mean, everybody knows that those are better. Most people won't go to 64 for a nostalgia trip. They'll go to the originals.
Depends on how old you are.
I mean,
I can't go to the originals for a nostalgia trip because I grew up with the N64.
Yep.
I didn't have the originals.
Also, you don't like platformers.
For somebody who said this game isn't that hard, you died a whole bunch. Wow. You're a talented man. Nobody can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, what do you got, Nick?
Medal of Honor. I want to see them remake them.
Didn't they already do those though?
So, yeah, well,
Or did they just bring it back after hiatus or something?
they did a reboot because they made it modern
Yeah.
to try and keep up with like Call of Duty and stuff. Did you not like the remakes or whatever
I
stuff?
don't think it was a remake. I think it was.
Called it a reboot a second ago. Did
Was
you
it
not
Airborne?
like the reboot?
The Airborne?
No, like the one that the
There's
one that
just
was just
Medal of
called
Honor.
Medal of Honor that came out on the 360 and PS3.
No, I mean like they should remake like Rising Sun.
Right, no,
Go
I
and
understand.
redo
I got it. I'm asking you a
Never
fucking
played
question, asshole.
Never played it
So you never played the actual
because I didn't hear anything about
the
it.
remastered because they made a remastered of those. Not remastered. They rebooted that franchise and you didn't even play it.
I'm trying to.
Well, I can tell you this.
What year did that come out? I don't even remember.
I don't know, but I can tell you this, Nick.
Yeah.
The Medal of Honor, solid. Not the best, decently made, decent story. It's a fun time. Fun way to kill a few hours. Medal of Honor Warfighter, which was a sequel to that, garbage. So
Rising
bad,
Sun.
it literally killed the fucking series.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Rising Sun and Frontline. They should remake those.
So
Call
you
of
want
Duty
them to
Medal
go
of
back
Honor.
to World War II.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just actually redo like
Just remake
4K the fucking battle in the beginning of Pearl Harbor.
those. You know, if you bought the Medal of Honor reboot, it came with a copy of the Frontline
Really?
that you could install onto your hard drive.
Just
At least it did on the PS3.
This one's called
Look.
What the Deuce.
They'll come out next. Call of Duty Medal of Honor. And everybody's like, what? It's like, no, it's not what you think. It's not Medal of Honor, but it is Medal of Honor. And they're like, no. It's supposed to be a competition.
Medal of Honor lost that competition years ago.
Yeah, they did. Like, thinking of other games that I'd like to see get a remaster, I would actually like to see, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask get put into, like, what they're doing for, like, Breath of the Wild and Switch. You know what I mean? Like, just getting that kind of graphic update.
I was gonna say, didn't they remake those on the 3DS?
They did.
And don't they look way better?
They do, but the problem is...
It's not on my Switch.
Well, but... I mean, like, a lot of people, when they heard there was going to be a remake, were actually hoping it was going to be for the upcoming system, which would have been the Wii U at the time. And when it came out on 3DS, they were like, well, at least I can take it, please.
Right, and everybody agrees that they're solidly made.
Yeah.
And Nintendo purposely left all the glitches and shit in there so they would be as close to the original as possible. I mean, it's hard to get much better than that. What the fuck was that? You didn't even bother. What are you doing? I don't know what game I would want remade. I can't think of any game that I used to play.
You never played Time Splitters, did you?
No.
That's a game I'd like to see again.
Cause like, didn't the company that made that go under?
They did.
Thought so.
I don't remember what it was for, but I think so. I'm not mistaken.
They started making James Bond games, didn't they?
I think so.
Goldeneye. They should remake Goldeneye.
They did.
They remade it on the Wii and the 360.
And 360 and PS3.
It came out on the Wii first, which is what was weird.
But yeah, they already remade it, and they replaced the guy with Daniel Craig and everything.
Yeah.
They already
and
remade
now
that.
Daniel Craig gets royalties anytime that game sells, which it's not selling anymore. So.
Yeah, but they already remade that, Nick.
It would be nice to see it kind of.
I'm trying to think.
Brought back into today's graphics.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, you guys act like the PS3 and Xbox 360 are just so ugly.
No, I was talking about like how most games kind of got updated.
Like even some PS2 games still look pretty good, depending on what their graphical style is. If you're going for a realistic style, you're gonna look shitty in a couple years, no matter what you're on.
That's true.
But if you got some kind of cool artsy style, or like the original Borderlands still looks pretty good. And it doesn't look that different from like Borderlands 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's because of the art style that they use. It's really unique.
That's like Final Fantasy in a way. Like with the, I think it's like, what is it, 10 and 10-2? Like everything after that kind of looks the same. But with a little bit of an update here and there.
Yeah, and 10 and 10-2 got HD remasters.
Yeah.
But like...
Which I really need to get on that.
Like people like to act like old games with like if they have like pixel sprites that they're just ugly and they're not worth anything.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, one of the
reasons that I want to see like more of an update is because the last few times I've seen like an HD remaster or something like that, it's been pretty good.
It's fine. It's just time.
Like I'm not a like I feel weird saying this because I'm not really a 2D
platformer
or just side scroller like Mega Man.
Yeah.
Castlevania, like I've never been into those kinds of games, but at least I don't have an issue admitting that they're fucking gorgeous to look at sometimes.
Yeah, I was surprised when I played the.
And I'll play something like Persona or whatever, which has 3D graphics, but then they still have like the 2D, like
RPG.
sprite.
Yeah, that
esque like when they're talking. I mean, they're not sprites anymore. I mean, they are. There's a whole bunch of them. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like older games like that where they still use like the like sprites for character profile like pictures when you're talking to somebody like an RPG or whatever.
Yeah.
Good, I like them.
Well, that's like where a lot of people, like where I look back and see where I talked about like the original Donkey Kong Country games and then bringing them into the newer thing. Mm-hmm. There's always the fear of it'll take away the
ambiance.
Yeah, I guess of how the originals were.
Nice.
Because the originals were done. They did
they did pre-rendered graphics.
Yeah, it was like 3D
pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And then the characters they weren't
really,
sprites. They were.
Yeah, but they looked really good for the time. Like nothing else looked like that.
And even today, they still look pretty decent.
Yeah.
See,
but like thinking about that, I was like, how would you?
By being talented.
I was like, how would you do that now though, without taking away from what made the games, pretty cool back then? Like I I can't find an answer.
You know, while I agree with what you're saying, those games still exist.
Yeah.
So you don't need to recapture the magic in the same way. You just got to make them play the same. They don't have to look exactly the same.
Yeah.
As long as they're still fun to play, it shouldn't really matter if they look a little different. As long as they still look good.
Yeah, I remember when Donkey Kong Country Returns was announced, and I was seeing people post on there. They're like, they're redoing the Donkey Kong Country franchise. I was like,
Cause like,
that'd be cool.
Cause like, what was it, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze?
Yeah.
It's got like the 2.5D kind of. Like it's got the same style as those.
Yeah.
But modernized. It would just look like that. And although I've never played those, I've seen people play them, and they look like they're pretty. They handle well and they're fun to play. I just hate those kinds of games, so I avoid them.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is like pretty brutal. Like, especially.
That's not relevant.
At all. You know what game they should remaster? Or remake? Lion King.
Why?
That's exactly my point. Why?
You know, they could, since the movie just came out.
It didn't come out yet.
I thought it was already out.
No.
I don't know. I mean, they've had Lion King the fucking play for years. They could have done
That's very true. I think the Lion King play's been out for like freaking 25, 30 years now.
But my question was why, and then his response was, I don't know why. Motherfucker, you suggested it.
Yeah, but...
I meant it as a joke.
I did.
I mean, I'm pretty... I don't know if hype's the right word, but hyped for the remake of Destroy All Humans.
Oh yeah, that is happening.
Yeah, they just announced it at E3. And I was like, oh, that's neat, I'll play that. Even though I have a copy of the original.
For a game, you got it on GameCube or PS2?
PS2. So, like, it's not like I need a remake of it. The original game's still pretty fucking good. It's fun. The comedy's pretty stupid. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's an old-ass game. It was stupid when it came out.
What else? Like, it's funny because there's so many games, like, when you think about what you grew up playing, and then maybe some games you went back and checked out because somebody...
A lot of the games that I grew up playing still exist.
Yeah.
In, like, because they're part of franchises that are still going. Like, Mario Kart, they still make those.
Yeah.
Smash, they still make that.
NASCAR.
I was going to say NASCAR, I was going to say Grand Theft Auto, they still make those.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so a lot of the big games that I was really a fan of when I was a kid are still around. And like, the other games that, the games that I don't even play anymore. So I don't care the fact that they're kind of like Halo and stuff. Like, I stopped caring about Halo years ago, and they're still technically making those.
Yeah. The next one's coming out as Infinite?
Yeah.
What's it called?
What is that, like Halo 6?
Yeah, I think so.
Some shit like that.
I was kind of disappointed because I was at Goodwill.
Oh, did you know they're putting the Master Chief Collection out on Steam so you can finally play it on PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll also be part of the Game Pass.
But it's also just on Steam, so you can just buy it.
But
So you don't need the Game Pass.
I was at Goodwill about a few days ago, and they had original PlayStation on sale for like $19.99, and it worked.
I have one of those, and
I was
mine
like-
still works.
I was like, I should have got that because I haven't had a PlayStation 1 in like 10, 12 years. But they had
I
a
was
bunch.
actually playing my PS2 the other day
They had a
because I bought a HD hookup for it.
somebody put a crap ton of Halo games in there, and I was like, check out what they see because I saw a silver case, and I was like, that's a steelbook. I was like, that's Halo 2. I went over there.
If you get the Halo 2 Platinum Hits Edition, it works in a 360, even though it's not
Yeah.
made for the 360, which is fucking cool.
It's weird. It's like
It's cool.
I mean, like I say that because like there are some that when they're platinum hits,
I mean, I
for
guess
some
it
reason they're
doesn't
back
matter
because
anymore.
like
Remade it, but whatever.
but
It was cool then.
I went and checked out the case and everything. It looked like somebody had took this because I was like, I like collecting steelbook cases. I just like them. But
Even for games you don't care about.
yeah. Well, I mean, I have an original Xbox too, so. But it looked like somebody
I wish I
had
had one.
it looked like somebody had stomped the crap out of it and then ran over it.
Nice.
And then I was like, well, maybe the game's not too bad. And I looked at it, it looked like somebody just went like this on asphalt and just scratched it all up. I was like, I'm not buying this. I was like, that's not even worth what they want. They wanted like $4 for it. I'm like, no. I'll tell you what it's worth. It's worth the dumpster out back.
You know what I was playing on my PS2 the other day? True Crime, The Streets of LA. That game is poo.
It's always been poo.
Was it that and
Yeah.
Shenmue that got a re-release recently? Or was it last year?
Shenmue got remade, but
That's
True
probably-
Crime didn't.
I couldn't remember. I remember there was a crime game that got remade, and I don't remember when.
Interesting fact about True Crime, it was supposed to have a third game in the series. It got canceled, Square Enix bought it, and it became Sleeping Dogs. Which is a game I like, but it bothers me. You want to know something funny that bothers me about Sleeping Dogs? It was made by people who made Deus Ex Human Revolution,
Oh, yeah.
right? And Deus Ex Human Revolution, because it's a RPG with like hacking and stuff, you can like hack into people's computers and go through their emails and stuff. I spent a lot of time doing that. And it has a very distinct sound effect that it uses when you're on the computers, like this very distinct boop sound effect. Playing Sleeping Dogs, and I do this thing where I'm hacking into these security cameras, plays that exact same boop, and I'm like, this boop doesn't go to this game! What the fuck? They're using my boops! I love that boop! I don't know, it just really bothered me that they reused the boop sound effect, even though it's a fucking fantastic boop, I love it. But, the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Make your own boops.
Reusing assets. That's 10 points off.
It's just, it's just one of the weird things that bugs me about it.
Yeah, I remember somebody telling me that.
And like, if I hadn't spent so much time in Deus Ex Human Revolution, because that game is fucking fantastic, I would have never even known that they reused the boops. You ever play it? Deus Ex Human Revolution?
No.
Yeah, I have.
There was
Mankind.
no, not Mankind Divided. Human Revolution.
Which one came first?
Deus Ex came first.
Of those two, then.
I think I have one of them downloaded on my.
Human Revolution is the first one, and Mankind Divided is the second one. Out of those two, where you play as Adam Jensen.
Was it Mankind Divided, the one where people complained because you snuck around too much?
That
Like, there
game
was,
is
like, no
entirely optional on how you play it. You can go and sneak, you can run in, guns a-blazing. The biggest issue with Human Revolution is it has boss fights in it, so you can spend all your points in like stealth upgrades and shit, and then you get into a boss fight where stealth doesn't mean anything. You're just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, but there's actually really cheeky ways to get past those if people pay. Like, I beat a boss just by hitting him with this poison gas grenade because he just stood in it and he died. Like in 5 seconds. It was like, it's crazy. And then like there was this big robotic tank at one point, and like I was like, oh my god, that thing's huge. And like there was a rocket launcher on like this thing, and I snuck all the way around. I grabbed this rocket launcher and I shot both rockets at it, reloaded, shot 2 more, and this tank thing was still shooting at me. And I'm like, oh my god, this thing's fucking crazy. And I died, and then I reloaded the checkpoint, and I realized I had an EMP grenade in my pocket, and I threw it, and it killed the tank in 1 hit. And I was like, I spent all that time fucking sneaking around to get that goddamn rocket launcher, thinking that would give me a chance. And I had an EMP grenade the whole time, but I just killed it in 1 hit.
That's funny. I remember back
Moral
when
of the story, you came out with a really good grenade at the end.
Right.
What's funny is I remember back when Arkham City came out, like they hadn't done any patches or anything to it yet for like any kind of bugs, and I was fighting one of the newer bad guys. They were like one of the one-armed guys that had like a hammer, and the other one had like a sickle or whatever. They were supposed to be like from Russia. They were like freak shows because they were like Siamese twins or something.
Sure.
But their thing is when you hit them, and your multiplier like really starts going up and everything.
Yeah.
I killed all the guys. Well, didn't kill, he's Batman, but
Right.
I beat all the guys around him, and he glitched into the floor, and I just kept hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting, and I looked, and I had a combo of over 100,000.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna level up so great, and then eventually the game like crashed. I was like,
You know, I can say Arkham City, I didn't like it as much as Arkham Asylum. It was too open. I didn't like how it just kind of made me run around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like so many missions in Arkham City were just like, follow this tracer until you find where you're supposed to be going. You know what I mean? Where, like, Arkham Asylum was much more of a linear kind of just like path.
It was more.
And I felt like it was better crafted because of it.
I like the.
What the hell happened there?
I like the atmosphere of Asylum, like just
quietly quaint in a
feels...
quaintly quiet sort of quietly quaint way.
I just think Arkham Asylum was just a better game than City, and then just all around. And then I never even played Night or Origins. I didn't play Origins because Rocksteady didn't make it, and when it came out, and all I heard was people complaining about how glitchy and samey and blah it was.
Yeah.
So I never actually bothered playing it. And every time I go to the store and I see Arkham Knight, I'm like, I should buy that one day, and then I just never do.
It's on sale a lot on Steam.
I'm not gonna buy it on PC though.
It's funny because like I remember the PC version being like so terrible because of like bugs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Rocksteady and a bunch of fans fixed it. Like, I still see a little, like, frame rate issue here and there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's still playable.
I want to hear about something I learned this week. Are you guys familiar with a man by the name of Robert William Zombie?
Rob Zombie, really?
Are you familiar with Rob Zombie?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know he has a brother?
I feel like I've heard that, yeah.
Who also has a band?
Is it White Zombie?
No.
Andre
White Zombie was Rob Zombie's band before.
Sure it's not Andre 3000?
I'm positive it's not Andre 3000, but it's odd that you say that, because his band is called Power Man 5000.
I know that band.
I know that band. Oh, okay.
From SmackDown vs. Raw.
I didn't know that I knew that band until I listened to one of their songs, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. I know this song.
Last Night on Earth?
No, When Worlds Collide.
Oh.
But I had no idea that the lead singer of Power Man 5000 is Rob Zombie's brother.
That is weird.
I did not
I
know
would
that.
never know that either.
I learned that recently. Found it very fascinating.
But like, I remember the song. I believe it's called Last Night. It's on. It's either on SmackDown vs. Raw 1 or it's on 2006.
Maybe.
And I remember listening to it. I was like, "That's a pretty cool song." And
yeah. So the song I knew by them was "When Worlds Collide," and I didn't even know that I knew that song, but I didn't know it was them, and I didn't know he was Rob Zombie's brother or anything.
what song is that on?
It's in one of the SmackDown vs. Raw too.
Because what's funny is like when I think of that song title, I think of one of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games.
It was in that too.
Was it that?
It was.
It's like, because this is
actually,
what it's like worlds collide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going with me.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm going
that is a good
with you.
song.
What you gotta do, baby, baby.
Yeah. Whenever I was able to make my own playlist and everything for the game, I took like all the rap songs out because I just don't like rap, and then friggin' like put on all the good songs and everything. Like Bad Religion's one of them. Who else is in it?
And you know what else I did yesterday? Not yesterday. Was it yesterday? What's today?
Today's Saturday.
Yeah, you know what I did yesterday? You ever seen The Crow?
Oh, with Brandon Lee?
Yeah. Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he got shot.
Oh shit, he got shot on set.
Yeah. You know they made sequels to that, right?
Yeah.
They made 3.
Mm-hmm.
I watched all 3 of them yesterday.
And?
Not great.
No, they don't hold up.
Like the first one, the first remake, City of Angels, not remake, sequel, City of Angels. It has the chick. I mean, it's not the same person, obviously, because it was. But like the little girl from the first one, it's supposed to be her, but like as an adult or whatever. And but the guy who plays the Crow, I don't know who he is, but like he's clearly not English American.
Yeah.
In origin, and you can hear his accent and stuff, which didn't bother me, but I don't know, like the main bad guy being like a drug dealer who kills his crow and drinks his blood and then like gets all the powers that he was supposed to have and then ends up getting murdered by a murder of crows. I don't know, it was just weird. Like it wasn't good. I thought the guy who played the Crow did a good job like with the character and like with his more, because he has like a goofy side as well as his like murderous side. So like when he was the guy whose name's Spider Monkey, when he handed him a deck of cards, he's like, draw a card, to see if I kill you or not. And they did like that thing we do with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards where it's like whoever draws the higher card wins.
Yeah.
And he beat him because he had like a jack, and he's like, I got the king, and then he murders him. Like, it was interesting. But yeah, overall, I'd say the movie was not great. And then the sequel after that, which was the first one that went direct to DVD.
I wonder why.
From 2000, that one was 2000, I think. 2000 exactly.
Yeah, I think that'd be about right.
I thought the guy who was in that one did fine. I actually really liked that one. That's probably my favorite one out of all of them. That was probably my favorite one. It was just a story of a man who was framed for murder by a bunch of dirty cops and going around killing some cops. And I thought that one was fine. The fact that in the first one and even in the second one, they just paint their face. But in this guy, they put him in an electric chair, and it fries his face so fucking bad that he has scars that resemble the makeup instead of the actual makeup. But so he looks a little goofy. But the kills in that one are good, and the soundtrack got fucking Rob Zombie in there playing. Actually, Rob Zombie wrote a song for City of Angels called Boogeyman. I'm your boogeyman, boogeyman. That one. That song, I think it was made for The Crow, City of Angels. Which, wow. But then they just got Living Dead Girl for the other one. And it plays in a part where he steals this cop's car, and he's just fucking flooring it into this fucking train yard, and he just smashes it into this fucking train, and then he gets out and he lights it on fire and stuff, and the whole car blows up, and the car blows up, and the explosion's so big that it hits a helicopter flying near it, and that blows up, and just fucking things are exploding. He's doing the cool badass walk away from the explosions and shit.
Yeah, of course.
It's just dumb fun, that one. The second one, it was just I guess you could say it was dumb fun, but it was too dumb in how the story resolved itself, I guess. I never understood in the first Crow how that Asian woman understood what was happening in the first place. She's like, oh, kill the crow, that will... It's how the fuck do you know that? All you did was cook an eyeball in a frying pan. What are you talking about?
She knows things.
Yeah. And then the fourth one, which... have you guys ever seen... You guys familiar with a TV show called Bones?
Yes.
And Angel?
Yes.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
He's the main bad guy in the fourth Crow movie.
Is that the Cinco de Mayo one?
No.
The one where they have Cinco de Mayo?
No.
With all the masks at their party? And
no.
I'm going to keep asking.
That's the second one. That's City of Angels. Anyway, they try to base the Crow off of Aztec mythology.
Mm.
And everybody's Mexican or Indian or both, except for him, and he wants to become the devil. So he has to sacrifice.
So he's actually evil in this one.
Virgins and stuff. What? No, the Crow's not evil. The Crow is actually he murdered somebody on accident, so manslaughter. And he just got out of prison, and he's fell in love with the Indian chief's daughter or whatever, and they're he's on his last day of parole, and he shows up at her shop, and he's gonna give her a wedding ring and stuff. And I forget his name. I'm just gonna call him Angel because that's what I know him from. Angel is there with his goons, who are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Not really, but that's what they call themselves. There's war, famine,
That's
all that. Yeah, and they kill both of them, and they cut out the girl's eyes and stuff, and they do all this shit, and he becomes the devil, and so the Crow has to fight the devil, but then the Crow wins because I don't know.
Love conquers
God want. Well, because even when he's fighting him, Satan's you think a minor angel like you has something over me, and he smacking him around, but then all the Aztec Native American people are doing a dance around the Crow, and it heals the Crow, and then suddenly like the actual Crow, and then the Crow. It's confusing. The superhero, the Crow, gets all his powers back, and then he can suddenly beat up the devil.
He looks at him. He goes,
"That's what happened."
He looks at him. He goes, "You haven't even seen my final form."
But like the funniest fucking part of that whole movie is when they show up to this place called the House of Inequity, which is like a strip BDSM club thing, and they have like this book on how to summon the devil, and they go to the owner, and they're like getting him to perform the final ritual where they have to like sacrifice a virgin, and then he has to kiss this girl and get stabbed or whatever, and then he'll be the devil. Mm-hmm. And this fucking old man, he's like, all right, homie, devil guy, you gonna square up on my dude? Like, he's just talking like that, and it's just fucking weird. And then when Satan actually shows up, he's like, Lucifer himself, the OG, my main peeps, brah. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? This movie came out like 2005, and it's fucking trash.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, the first Crow movie, pretty good. The rest of them,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like I wasted my time, but I don't think I used it productively either. I felt like I just kind of moseyed on through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was looking...
It's the ultimate war.
Yeah, I see that.
It's awesome. I actually had this comic at home.
When I was looking at the IMDb, yeah, the second Crow movie, which is the one that I said I didn't like the most, had a like a 4.8 out of 10 or something. And then the third one, which was probably my favorite one,
Had a 2.
No, it had like a straight up 5. So like a 50. And then the third one, or the fourth one, the one I was just talking about, where they summon the devil, it had like a 2.3 out of 10.
What'd you say the first one was?
I didn't check the score on the original Crow, because I don't care. And because I like that movie.
What, if you found out it did shitty, you talk shit about it?
What?
Why didn't you look it up?
Why didn't I look up the IMDb score of the original Crow?
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch it. I watched the other ones.
Why didn't you watch the original?
Because I watched it recently.
And you liked it?
Yeah. I liked it before that too, but that's not the point.
Wow.
What?
7.6 out of 10.
Well, there you go. See, original Crow got a good score. You watched some anime this week, Nick.
Yeah, I was waiting to get through all your
I'm
shit.
sending it to you.
Yeah. I watched,
My voice is getting tired.
Watched the end of Shield Hero.
What'd you think?
Of this season? Pretty good. The ending went as well as the beginning. You know?
I think that queen is my favorite character. The one that they were going to cut her head off. Was it a princess?
Yeah, that's slut.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Okay, when she's in the party, it's slut.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It's my favorite character.
And then
You haven't even seen Yare.
You should watch it though. It's really good. Even though it'll piss you off the first 6 episodes, emotionally it'll anger you. But yeah,
So
it's
what,
pretty good.
You gave it like a what?
I think 7
No, you didn't.
or 8. I think I gave it 8.
You said 8.5, and I said that's not a score you can give because you can only do like solid numbers.
Then it'd be closer to 8. Definitely.
Yeah, you went with 8. I gave it a 7. Personally.
And I can't give it.
But you didn't finish it.
Yeah, I did.
So you watched the ending?
Yeah.
With was that one of the ones you watched this week?
Yeah.
You caught up on?
Yeah, I finished Hero and Slime this week.
What do you think of the ending?
Where they rebuild Raftalia's
Village? And they're gonna make it into like a fishing village to bring in more people?
Wasn't really surprised. Kind of like when they went to the village and they started setting up all this stuff about it. I was more surprised about Glass and
them being from a different
people.
world.
Yeah, that I didn't see coming. That they were heroes from
That's
another
why. That's
world.
why I said they were. Remember?
No.
We were sitting at lunch. I said.
You asked me if there could be more.
Do you think they're from another world?
Well, you just asked me if I thought there was more Cardinal heroes, and I said.
Well, they are heroes, but from a different world.
Right. Well, I said, I don't know. I kind of spoiled myself because I saw a meme about the Scythe guy. So I was like, I don't know, maybe there's other heroes.
And then I watched Old Wiseman's Grandson.
But what I was going to say was, I thought that was way more interesting that there's another world where they're also fighting these blights. And they seem to think that if they can kill the heroes in this world, their blights will stop.
Yeah.
So does that mean if our heroes kill them, then their blights will stop? That doesn't make any...
I think it's just a game.
Like,
Yeah,
do they each have their own, like, ending context? Like, they have to kill them to get it to stop, but our heroes have to go do something else to get it to stop.
Season 2 will be Rising of a Scythe Hero?
It's weird that their ending conditions would be to kill our heroes, but our heroes' ending condition is to do something totally different.
No, they're supposed to stop the waves. And to stop the waves is to kill them.
What?
Okay, they had to kill Glass in order to stop them.
That was not established at all.
They just had to wait out the time limit.
Right, okay. So, the main goal of the shield hero and all them is to put an end to the waves.
Yeah.
But we haven't really established how they're supposed to do that.
Except fight them off and survive.
Right. But we don't know what the ending condition is.
So what do you think of
how do they solve it? But these other heroes from this other world seem to think that their beating of the game would require them to kill our heroes.
Yeah, like where did that come from?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is their win condition kill us, but our win condition is do something else?
Right.
That's what I was saying.
How do you feel like about the shield hero being more powerful than the other three? It's like...
It's because they're not doing it right, and they're all stupid.
Yeah,
he went out
on his own and did shit.
Right, basically what they established with that is because the other heroes are so fucking dumb, they don't know how to do anything, and that's why he's so much better than them, even at lower levels.
Yeah, he was kicking their ass.
Yeah, he was. They were all out for the count, and he was basically fighting all of the other heroes by himself with a raccoon and a bird.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a bird, motherfucker, I'm a bird. No. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Especially because he was getting fucked over the whole time. Like, he wasn't allowed to get his class upgrades when he first needed them. Like, how many, levels or whatever did he not get experience for because he was maxed out because he didn't get his class upgrade?
Right.
Like, how much higher... He could be so much higher of a level.
He could be immortal right now.
If they just didn't fuck him over right away.
There was a show we watched.
All because of religion.
There was a show we watched before. What was it? Where the main character... Oh, it's Index. Where it's like his rank or whatever as an Esper or something like that is 0 because he doesn't really have powers.
I mean, there's so many shows like that where...
I can't think of any others right now.
Chivalry of a Failed Knight.
I haven't watched that.
His magic is rated the weakest, but he's actually the strongest person.
Mm.
There's a couple. There's other shows I could think of if you gave me a minute. Astra Swore, he's considered weak, but he's also the strongest fucking guy. There's so many people or shows where the main character's well, I'm actually I'm rated the worst person in the school because of my magic. Or test or whatever, but I'm actually the best because I know how to fight without it or something.
Yeah.
The fucking
there was the
bastard.
Oh yeah.
His magical skill is really weak, but he uses skills that turn other people's magic off, and then he can just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Because he actually knows how to fight.
There's also what is the anime where it's supposed to be only women or something like that can
Blade Dance of the Elementors. Only women can form contracts with spirits to gain weapons, but then he's the only man that can do it. So they think he's the reincarnation of the Demon Lord.
No, not that.
There's another one.
Yeah, there is another one. No, it's
Is it the one where only the women can pilot the mechs, but then there's that one guy, something?
Yeah.
Banalorf or something.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember it. I watched it a while back.
Yeah, there's a couple shows like that. And then what was the other one?
Because there was only a part 2.
I watched 3. One was...
Wise Man's Grandpa.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was actually pretty good. I'd rate it a 6.
Okay. That's It's more of a fine than a good, but whatever. What happens in that one? What's that about?
Let's see. How do you pause this?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Alright, so in
Infamous
Wise
Travis.
Man Grandchild,
Oh! See, I was talking about a different show.
Wise Man's grandson.
Right. That's funny. That's funny that you mentioned that, and I thought of a different show immediately.
But
that
they
has
sound
the exact
identical.
same plot.
Well, that's the same as.
He finds this boy in the woods, right?
Yep.
But the boy's from like a different world.
Sounds like Goku.
Yeah, basically.
Or Superman.
And the guy who finds him, his name's Merlin.
Mm.
You know, and he has a wife, and there's a King Arthur, obviously.
Oh, sorry. Do that.
But he teaches him magic. Well, the boy uses, you know, like our world, like deduction to use magic, so everything's more powerful. Like he doesn't need to say any signs or anything. So he's like super powerful.
So he doesn't have to cast spells. He can just use them.
Yeah, and he can enchant stuff.
Cool.
Like
He becomes super
like
powerful.
The smartphone anime.
A little bit.
And anyway, there's demons also in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and a demon killed his parents or so.
So he was told.
Yeah, which demon did kill his parents, but he's from a different world. So
Right.
anyway, he
He
has a grudge against
Martha.
demons, and he tries to kill him.
That makes me think of the Demon Hunter show.
And then he gets like he was out in the
Everybody's in love with the
he was out in the
little
boonies
girl.
basically for 18 years. I'd say 14 years.
Okay.
And before they decided to take him into the kingdom.
So he's like 20?
Oh, and Merlin and his wife, I can't think of her name. They're like super popular magicians. Like, they're like the best magicians in the world.
They
except
make
now
tigers
they're not.
Are they mages or wizards or magicians?
They're mages.
Because magician implies that they don't actually have magic.
Jared said,
Man,
I said, do they make tigers disappear?
nice.
But he decides he's going to go to mage school.
Cool.
And he basically tops the like they're all over here casting little spells and little fires coming out, and they're saying that's really fucking great.
Right.
And then he starts to do it, and he just blows the back of the wall out. So a little trickle of fire goes by, and they're like, "That's freaking awesome, yeah!" And he's like, "Why are you guys chanting over here? You know, this is not."
Right.
And then he steps up, and one of the guys who was actually out there and saw him do stuff, he was like, "No, you need to tone it down just a little, all right?" He's like, "Don't worry, I will. I won't hurt nobody." Boom.
Makes me think of Mob Psycho when they recruit that dude's younger brother, and he goes to the psychic school or whatever, and the guy's like, he's a pyromancer, and he's like, "I'm gonna turn up the heat," and he gets like a lighter flame at the end of his finger, and he's like, "Oh, I did it!"
Yeah, well, he turns to him, and he's like, "Dude, I thought you were gonna turn it down." He's like, "That's what 10%." And anyway, so he
It's like
joins.
Vegeta with the punching machine.
He
Yeah,
joins,
that's always my
right? And then he
favorite
starts a
thing.
club, and to train people to become demon hunters.
Right.
And he falls in love with this chick, but you know.
And she's a demon.
No, but
She's a hunter.
he trains them all to be like ultimate magicians. He trains them, you know, not to use spells, you know, chants or anything. And he teaches them to fly.
Cool.
And he gives them like impenetrable armor that super heals you. It's pretty great, but you know, it's more generic. I mean, it's funny, but in its moments, but you know, pretty straightforward.
Right.
It's funny because like there's
Yeah,
not a
'cause
lot
while
of
you're describing it, I thought of like 6 other shows that sound very similar.
Yeah.
because like you think about it like there's not really a lot of animes that just kind of stick out because you
Well, the other anime I watched, which was yesterday, was 7 Seeds, and it kind of stuck out.
For being so bad.
No. So there's 5 groups.
I looked it up
did
on.
it feel legitimately different from
I looked
a
it
lot
up
of
on
them?
Mal after he mentioned it, and it had 1 user review with a 5
Ugh.
out of 10.
Yeah, but he was going off the basic of the manga versus the anime and how.
I mean, it's a Netflix anime
Yeah, they basically butchered. Like I said on the
that took
here,
like a.
they butchered it
It took like I think it had like 57 volumes,
and turned it into.
12 episodes, and it's like 3D, right?
It's only no.
Was it CG? No,
CG.
it looks CG.
It's not 3D. It's like the anime we've been watching today.
Okay, so drawn.
I'm pretty sure it didn't look like Mad Bull.
Nothing looks like Mad Bull.
Mad Bull's in a league of
You
its
can put
own.
that on my computer, by the way.
Mad Bull?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
Okay.
it's actually a pretty good show.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. Anyway, but no, it's 5 groups, right? You had
Yeah, I read
autumn.
I read the synopsis for it.
Tell him.
Okay.
Autumn, spring, Summer Team A, Summer Team B, and Winter.
Mm.
All right, you had 5 groups of 7, and then a curator, a guy who would go and try to protect them all. They're all put into cryosleep because a meteorite's coming. As soon as I saw the meteorite, I was like, "Is this fucking Charlotte?"
And I like how Summer
Anyway.
has the most teams because it does.
No.
It
Okay.
has the most teams because of how years.
So a meteorite hit the Earth, right, and it basically destroyed everything. But they put all these teams in cryosleep, and they left grains and seeds and tools and shit in silos at like each tip of what are those mountains called? Fiji Mountains. It's like the 7 points of the Fiji Mountains.
Okay.
They left little silos there in the ground for them to rebuild the Earth. That was their whole job, repopulate the Earth. But
And then when they come out, everything's fucked, and there's dinosaurs and like monsters and shit running around.
It gets creepy. Like one guy,
all I did was read the synopsis, and what I got was post-apocalyptic world. Like 5 groups of 7 of like kids come out, and they have to like rebuild the world, and shit's fucked.
And like,
as soon as
and
you
they
say,
don't, and they don't all
synopsis
stay.
said.
They don't all wake up at the
they
same
don't
time.
all wake up at the same time. That's why
Like-
there's Summer A and Summer B,
Like-
because there's 5
Yeah,
groups.
but the group that wakes up right at the beginning, like, and when the show starts, is Summer Team B, which is main characters,
You'd think it'd be
Spring, and Summer Team A. They all wake up at the same time.
That doesn't sound
Winter-
right at all.
Winter woke up 15 years prior, and there's only one dude left. Like everyone else died.
Yeah, they didn't wake up right at all.
No.
Like,
And
that's
then
not how
3
that was
years
supposed to
before
work.
them, I mean, it was 12 years later, Autumn woke up. And they actually had a thriving society, but volcanic ash destroyed their village 3 years later. They had everything. It was great. Except
Kinda
they were...
sounds like Fallout.
yeah.
But I mean, it gets pretty intense.
It's funny because when you said dinosaurs and everything, I feel like the first question that somebody would bring up when they got out, it's like, did the world get destroyed or did we go back in time?
No, it got destroyed. Like, it got obliterated.
Right. It's
And there's a
just
woman pregnant in there.
basically, it's like that episode of Futurama where if you just go far enough into
Oh,
the
yeah.
future, it starts over.
Yeah.
Like, there's a clip.
But
I wanna show
everything's
you.
like 3 inches lower.
Yeah, there's this clip I want to show you, but basically this woman, she used to be a police officer and her husband died, and she was washing her hair out because she'd been like stuck in the dirt for like 3 days, and she was washing her hair out, and this 18-year-old like punk wraps his arm around her. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta let me screw you. I've seen you naked." She's like, "Okay, but just know you're only fucking me if we get pregnant, and then you're gonna have to take care of the baby, and you have to do everything for it." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
You know what this actually kind of reminds me of too? There's a new one coming out called Dr. Stone, and
I think you mentioned Dr. Stone before.
what it's about is like everybody, it's like normal every day, and then suddenly everybody just gets petrified.
Yeah. They wake up like 100 and something years,
Like millions,
of years later.
they all just turn into stone, but then like this one guy just willed himself to stay alive through that entire thing, and he just wakes up one day, and there's another guy named Dr. Stone, I don't know, that's not his name, but he's like a science guy, and he's doing all this like experiments to try and get people to turn back to people again and stop being statues.
But he's been doing this experiments for a long time.
And not really, he's still a kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Everybody's
And like they end up waking up like this fucking crazy fucking dude who's like, fuck technology, it needs to be like caveman, survival of the fittest, kind of thing. And so it becomes a battle between these like cavemen, barbarian type guys who just have raw physical strength because they're like adults, and then like all the main characters are kids, but they're way smarter, you know. So it becomes like a contest of like, can we make technology and stuff and free people from these stones to give us a fighting chance against these adults who are just bigger and stronger and murderous.
Yeah.
And it's basically the plot.
Can we invent guns again?
Right. And that's basically the plot, and it kind of makes me think of that.
Well, they brought,
Because there's
Team
like
A,
monsters and shit too.
they were trained to do everything. You know, they were actually born and raised and bred to go do that. And they faced, there was like 150 kids at the beginning, and they could only pick 7. And they told them that. And every time someone would drop out, you know, they'd see them walk them away, you know, tell them they're going to have a good life. What they were really doing was throwing them into a basically a meat fertilizer blender to use them for fertilizer.
Ah.
Yeah. And if anyone got in real trouble, they would throw them into the red room, which was where the fertilizer was being made, which is how they found out about. Yeah.
Our new Cornish people.
Like they all had to go through like some traumatic shit, and they told them they didn't want to do it. So when they unthawed, and they saw the dude that told them, basically either suck it up or just die, they all shot him right in the face, and they're doing their own little thing.
That also kind of makes me think of Promise Neverland, where they're raising these kids in an orphanage just to sacrifice them to monsters. Like, we're gonna raise them and then we're just gonna feed them.
But that's all basically I watched. But it was really good. There was 12 episodes, and it left on a cliffhanger. So
Netflix. So they all came out at once. That's how Netflix do.
Which is pretty good. I mean,
it's good for binging, yeah. Which is
that's all Netflix is.
Which is what I do anyway. That's how I watch anime.
Yeah.
Like there's some shit on Netflix that I would like to watch, but I don't know if it'd be any good. They have Evergarden on there.
Violet Evergarden?
Yeah, on there, but it's in Japanese. And
that's that new Kyoto anime. Kyoto Annie show. Which means it's beautiful, but I don't know what it's about. But Kyoto, anything Kyoto Animation makes, delicious.
I
want to see some more Key
to look at.
Anime.
I'm waiting for Food Wars.
Key is not an anime studio.
No, but you know what I mean. Something that's affiliated with Key.
Most of the Key animes were made by Kyoto Animation.
Really?
Yes. Because they did Clannad and Canon and Planetarium. But they also did Haruhi,
did they do
Lucky
Charlotte?
Star, and no, that was PA Works.
Yeah.
And they did K-On!
I'm watching K-On! Right now, but I haven't I put it down. I usually only watch it when I'm in there.
Mm-hmm.
So have you figured out why it's Brad's favorite?
The other thing I watched this week was Slime. I finished Slime finally.
I really want to get to that.
I didn't like it. Like when it first started, I liked it a lot more, but I just felt like as it went on, I liked it less and less.
Because it was just one thing after another, and it didn't really drive any story.
I liked it less than Shield.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like Shield a lot better.
And the last 2 episodes of Slime are literally worthless.
Yeah.
Episode 24 is about the girl.
Shield?
I forget her name.
Yeah, Mask Girl.
The Mask Girl.
I haven't seen it, so
whatever. It's not the point.
It's the Mask
It's like a backstory about something that she did.
Yeah.
That's not really
which will probably lead into
it's
the
not
new season.
all it did was explain who Black was.
Yeah, but it'll lead into season 2 with Black being a prominent.
Right. But it just seemed like a weird thing to put after, like the big finale happened at the end of 23, and that felt like the end of the show, and then 24 is just like, here's some random side story that will help set up season 2. Yeah. And then 25 is literally just a recap of season 1, but made as a dumb joke where Valdora and the Fire Demon are playing shogi together.
Yeah,
and just talking about random shit that's happening in the show. It's fucking weird. I'm like, why does this happen?
So
they should have just stopped at 24.
So it was like Teen Titans.
What is that demon's name? The one that befriends him?
The fire guy? No.
The girl.
What?
The demon.
The demon lord who's his friend?
Yeah.
The pink-haired one?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't remember.
Anyway.
Like Malene?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Malene.
But when she's fighting,
like
that big catastrophe,
the dragon that she just blows up in like one hit.
Yeah, like they were fighting that thing for like the entire episode, and she's like, "Can I join now?" And then she just destroys it.
Yeah, one hit, and she's like, "Can I fight now?" He's like, "Yeah, go for it." Dead.
Yeah, it just shows you how powerful she is compared to the slime.
Compared to everybody, yeah.
Yeah, but the slime could be just as powerful.
If he
think about it, he's got Valdora in him.
Right, but he didn't actually eat Valdora. He ate the shell around Valdora. And then he ate the demon, but not really, because Valdora pulled him out before he got dissolved.
Yeah.
So he's missing the demon and Valdora's power.
But if they do get dissolved.
But they won't be dissolved.
He's just keeping them.
I'm assuming that once they figure out how to break that barrier, they're just gonna let Valdora out.
Yeah, that'll be.
Well, they're friends. He's talking, you know.
Well, he did give him his name.
It's like Hip and Yo and blah blah blah, and he's gonna name Black Diablo. They spoiled that too.
Yeah.
They're like, he's like, this was the slime and Black's first introduction, and little did Slime know that one day he'd be conjuring Black and give him his new name, Diablo. I'm like, well, why the fuck did you tell me that?
Yeah.
Now!
The narrator, man, the slime narrator, it's just...
I was just like, I don't understand why they spoiled that.
Right?
At the end of season 1, with this random backstory episode to tell us who he is.
Yeah. Favorite vampire movie?
I don't have one.
I don't want one either.
You don't have one. There's not one vampire movie in this entire world that you like.
No,
Not
most
really
of them are
into
kind of
vampire stuff anyway.
most of them are kind of trashed.
Like, when I think of
Well, Lost Boys.
I've never seen
I've
Lost
never
Boys.
even heard of that.
Really?
When I think of vampire movies
Keith or
that
Sutherland's like
I've
Big Break?
seen all 3 Blade movies,
Yeah, I've
but
seen
I'm
them.
not particularly a fan of any of them. Because
I like
seen
Blade
Interview with a
Trinity,
Vampire?
but nobody else does.
I've seen Hellsing, but that's not really a vampire movie.
Queen of the Damned?
I've never seen these.
It's an old movie though, isn't it?
What?
Queen of the Damned.
No. Well, it's like 2009, 2008.
It's 10 years.
I don't think there's.
No, I've never.
Well, it
Not
came,
only have I not
the first one
seen
came out a long
that
time ago,
movie,
so that's probably
Interview with a
remake.
Vampire? That's when Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man. Oh, I watched that too.
Not only have I not seen any of the movies you're talking about, I don't know if I've ever heard of them. I've heard of an Interview with the Vampire, but the other one I've never heard
That's
of.
Queen
the
of
one
the
that's
Damned is
got-
like the third book
That's
of
the one that's got
Interview with a
Brad.
Vampire.
That's the one that's got Brad
Yeah.
Pitt and
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I know.
what's her name?
I know Count Dooku
Yeah.
was in a Dracula movie once, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
oh yeah, he was in like
Count
it was like
Star Wars.
yeah Chris.
He's also in Lord of the Rings, the bad guy.
Grievous?
I don't know.
Count Dooku is the one that Anakin cuts his head off.
Oh yeah.
Old guy.
Yeah.
He was
Did he
in
play Lord of the Rings
Yeah, he was in Lord of the Rings.
as Solomon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I watched that Spider-Man in the
Christopher
multiverse.
Lee.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is, dude.
Yeah, I really like
What
that.
is it?
Spider-Man
Into the
into
Multiverse?
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, every time I ever heard of the show New Girl?
My sister watches it.
No.
All right, there's a guy in there named Nick,
Okay.
right? And he's
I
the
wonder if
voice.
he's his favorite character.
No, but he's the voice actor of Peter Parker in Spider-Man
Which one?
Into the Multiverse.
Which one?
Sweatpants.
Both Peter Parkers.
I didn't even realize they
They're
had the same voice.
They're twins, basically. They're the
I
same
didn't even
person.
realize they had the same voice because one had like a upbeat, like
It's not
happy
entirely-
voice, the other one's like.
That's not entirely true. One
Anyway.
Peter Parker's played by Nicolas Cage.
Right. Yeah. And then
Yeah,
there's
no,
Parker,
his name's not
there's
Peter
Gwen
Parker.
Stacy,
What is it?
It's something else.
but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
But yeah,
There's 2 like Spider-Man, but the one's the one from the universe that
ones that married
Miles
Mary
is
Jane
from,
Yeah.
and then there's the other one who's like fat and lazy and cries in his back.
because him and Mary Jane broke up because he didn't want to have kids.
Right. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's scared.
Well, the other Peter Parker, the one's from Miles' universe, supposed to be dead.
He did die.
died.
Oh.
That's why I didn't realize they had the same voice. 'Cause they
Oh.
were
Yeah,
never
but
in-
every time I
they were
hear his
never on
voice,
screen at the same time,
Mm.
speaking to each other.
but
so
every
didn't
time
realize
I
they were
hear
the
his
same.
voice, right,
Mhm.
I think of that show because he always yells for Schmidt.
Okay.
Schmidt's a dude.
Okay.
Okay. And if you ever watch New Girl, which you probably won't, it's really funny. I just
It's got Zooey
associate the voice
Deschanel.
with that.
Okay.
But the movie was really good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked all the weird animation quirks and different animation styles from different characters.
Everything
I've
just
seen-
flowed with it.
I
Yeah.
liked Penny.
I saw a
Nicolas
bunch of
Cage,
I saw a bunch of reviews where everybody was
Spider-Man
saying
Noir.
I was seeing a bunch of reviews where everybody was saying it was better than Homecoming.
I don't know if I go that.
No, and if you think about it, Far From Home is literally a montage to the multiverse, Spider-Verse, whatever you want to call it, verse.
Spider-Verse, but
I mean, everybody knew eventually that the MCU would start doing multiverse stuff.
I
Because
don't
after
know.
Thanos, what else can you do?
well,
There's
if
a lot
they
you can
hadn't
do.
have done the thing with
Fox.
no.
Oh, I thought you
if
were
they
talking
hadn't
about
done the
Fox.
thing with Captain Marvel, they could have done Secret Invasion.
Oh, that's true.
angle.
Yeah.
But because of the way they did it, they kind of removed that whole possibility because like they're friends.
Yeah.
So we'll never get the secret.
Well, not all
luckily-
scrolls are good though.
But those are all basically all the scrolls in the universe.
Yeah, because they were
Because they
basically
were-
Yeah,
almost
most of
wiped
them.
out.
Yeah.
So,
So
the
the
scrolls
Skrulls-
are basically friends.
The
with
scrolls.
humans. So they kind of
Yeah.
like took Secret War, Secret Invasion.
Then they only just stuck a little bit of it into Marvel.
Right, but by doing what they did with Captain Marvel, they can't do that storyline.
Yeah.
Well, see,
is what I'm saying.
what I want to see, I want to see what they're gonna do with Galactus. I really want to see what they're gonna do.
Have they done anything?
No.
He was in.
They made him a puff of cloud.
Yeah, they
for
made him a
freaking-
puff of cloud for
Fantastic Four 2.
Silver Surfer. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just like a smoke monster.
That's all he was.
They're gonna have to redo Fantastic Four.
That they will.
And they're
eventually.
gonna ruin it again.
No, not this time. Because Fox has the
Disney's
rights.
gonna take it over. You know.
Disney hasn't done wrong with them so far.
I think Sony should.
I mean, have you seen Iron Man 2? Don't act like everything
I didn't
Marvel's
say they were
ever
the
made.
best thing
Don't
ever.
act like everything Marvel's ever made is a fucking masterpiece.
Here's the thing,
He
though.
needs Disney.
Put Iron Man 2 next to the Fantastic Four movie that recently came out a few
Sure,
years
it's
ago.
better, but they're still both
That's
bad.
what I'm saying.
What I'm
have-
saying is,
You gotta go with.
don't act like Marvel and Disney have never fucked up a movie.
I never said that.
That's exactly what
That
you
is
said.
not what I said.
Look at Hulk.
You said they won't fuck it up this time.
No, they didn't do it
Okay,
last
okay.
time.
But
Fox
right.
did.
He said they'll fuck it up like they'll fuck up the movie again, and you're like, no, they won't, because Marvel's doing it.
They'll make a
And
slightly
I'm saying,
better.
don't act like Marvel can't fuck up a movie, because they have.
Yeah, they'll make a slightly better version than the ones they have now.
I mean, it's just asinine to think that, well, if Marvel's making it, then it will have to be good.
I mean,
because
look at
they've
what they
never
did with
made
Spider-Man.
a bad
Okay,
one.
so who do you think
Look
they're
what
gonna
they've done
get?
with Spider-Man.
What about Keanu Reeves? Who
Yeah,
they
but
gonna-
Spider-Man had good movies before that.
Bull crap.
Spider-Man-
I went back and watched
No,
them.
because look-
Spider-Man 1...
Multiverse did it. Remember in Multiverse, he's like, yeah, I'm also the guy that did this.
Right, they made fun of it. But Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire is still a good movie. It's still good.
The first one, not the second or
I
third.
didn't say the second or third one. I said the first one was
I thought
still
everybody
good.
always thought the second one was better than the first and third.
I don't know why people think that, because I disagree entirely.
I like
I've
Doc.
only-
I
I've
like
only seen
what,
parts of
what's
the
the
second
Doc Ock in this one?
Second. Oh,
No,
wait.
no, Multiverse.
The woman?
Yeah, there's a woman Doc Ock.
I don't know who she was.
Octavia Octopus.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
yeah,
Oct-
there's
it was
various-
Octavia.
Yeah, but there's female versions of all the characters.
But the problem
in
is-
the comic book.
Except
Dr.
for Kingpin.
Octopus's real name is Otto. So I don't know
Otto
what
Octavius.
Yeah, so I don't know what you would call a female version of that.
Octavia Octavius.
Octavia. I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
My name is Octopus. I never got a real name.
Octopussy. But no,
Bullshit hair, man.
where do you think they would go with it? I mean, who do you think Keanu Reeves should play? And don't say Wolverine.
In the MCU?
Yeah, don't say
I
that.
don't care, like, at all.
I don't really know who he'd fit in with. That's the problem.
You can play anybody they make him play, and you'll accept it because that's just how
It'll be
works.
the same like voice. It'll be the same acting as he's always done.
He'll be Tom Holland grown up.
Like they could just
Spider-Man.
he could just be some like agent guy, and then just be fucking John Wick.
John Wick for
You know what I mean?
John Wick in the
Like, he
MCU
could-
confirmed.
Like he could just be
He just
like,
walks in a room and everyone just gets quiet and they're
Like,
looking
he
at
could
him like
just
Captain
be
America.
a shield agent who's just really good with a gun. Like
be
Black
a
Widow or something, you
he's-
know? Just
he-
another Black Widow, but man.
He was Nick Fury's first apprentice.
He could be the white Nick Fury from an alternate dimension.
That is true. There is a white Nick Fury. It's originally what he was.
Do you think like Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be evil
I
in
don't-
this one?
See,
they,
I don't
they say he's a good
know.
guy, but he could just be playing a good
It
guy.
doesn't matter. There's no reason to guess. It's gonna come out in like 2 days. Just fucking.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I still want to know. What caused them to change the release date though, because it went from the 5th to the 2nd.
They realized that they could get it out faster, and they're like, "We'll make more money."
I just wonder if they did it because of them re-releasing Endgame.
Maybe, but we don't even know when that's gonna happen.
Because if you want to stay for 3 hours to watch an extended Endgame, you know Spider-Man's coming out right after, and everybody's like,
Doesn't matter. to
I don't
me.
know.
and then it turns out
Are you
to be
gonna
a
go watch
3-hour
it?
movie.
What?
Probably not. Probably won't be able to.
What? Spider-Man? No,
Why not?
because I haven't seen Endgame.
There's only one spoiler in that whole thing.
Doesn't matter. You gotta watch them all in order.
Actually, there may be more.
I
Yeah,
have
but
watched
no.
all of them in order, and I'm going to continue.
You got
to
2
do
days
so.
to watch Endgame.
I'm not. It's not gonna happen.
It probably would.
It's not... Because if they're re-releasing it in theaters, that means it's going to be that much longer before the Blu-rays and DVDs come out, which means it's going to be that much longer before I can rent it.
Which means Blu-ray and DVD probably won't come out until probably around Christmas time. Probably Black Friday.
I don't know. I'd give it like 3 months of being on Netflix.
Either way.
Hold on. 3 months, what's that put that at? That puts it at...
3 months from now,
October.
Captain Marvel will be on there. So give it another... So November, you'll have Endgame on there.
I mean, Captain Marvel, like, DVD-wise and Blu-ray-wise was like... When did I watch it? Like 2 weeks ago? Because that's when it came out. I watched it like...
You watched it digitally, though, right?
Yeah, I just rented it on Amazon for like $4.
Yeah.
Same way I watched the Crow sequels.
Those
weren't really worth what I paid for them, but what are you going to do?
Is there any new anime coming out? You mentioned one in the...
Vinland Saga. I was actually about to mention that again.
The next season of Food Wars, I think, is coming out soon.
I don't even think I finished this one. They were just battling, right?
Yeah.
The last episode was them battling?
I don't even remember when it was either.
Let's see. Here, you guys want to know everything that's coming out this summer season?
Yes.
We got Don Machi Season 2.
Sweet.
Never seen the first one.
Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, is that Machi?
Yeah.
Oh, well then fuck yeah, let's watch that shit now!
Dr. Stone.
Okay, I might watch that.
I have no idea what the fuck this says because it's not in English. Let me see if I can find an English title for it real quick.
Probably isn't one.
First from Commonplace to World's Strongest. It's an isekai about somebody who was a commoner and now he's the strongest in the world. Never seen one of those before. We got Vinland Saga, which is the Viking one I was telling you about, which is often compared to Berserk in terms of
I might watch
gore and stuff like that.
I might watch that.
You love Vikings and shit. You got Fire Force, which is the new thing by the guy who did Soul
Yeah.
Eater.
I want to watch that. That looked pretty good. It was people who had like powers deal with fire and shit.
I'm a fan of the manga. Yeah, they all have fire-based powers. Like one guy he dresses like a holy knight and he's got a plasma sword because it's like kind of fire, I guess, and it's basically just a lightsaber.
But he's a firefighter.
Right, he's part of the Fire Force.
They fight fire?
No, they fight. There's a disease that causes people to spontaneously combust and then they turn like into demons.
And then they go and fight the demons.
Yeah, they fight those.
With fire.
Right.
So spontaneously combust.
Yes.
And then they have to fight it with fire. So fight fire with fire.
Right. If you're a fan of Index or Railgun, you might be excited to know that a scientific accelerator is getting a TV show.
What?
Huh?
The character.
Oh wait, is it the
white-haired guy?
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's actually a pretty cool character.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you take all those shows, it's basically one viewpoint of every character at the same point in time as you watch them.
Irrelevant. A certain scientific accelerator is getting a TV show. So.
Yeah, that one's going to be a lot darker. That one's going to be a way darker.
We're getting
probably
chick who teases season 2. She's got the big forehead.
No. You got a picture?
I know you've seen
it.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out. I was like, I've never heard that show.
Oh yeah.
She's like the ultimate teaser or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would know it, so I didn't have to click on it to see the English.
He tries to like best her.
Yeah.
Every day, and she always gets him.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to look.
The manga actually jumped into the future where they're married.
Let's see if I can figure out what the English title for this fucking thing is. Teasing Master Takagi-san. So Teasing Master Takagi-san season 2 is getting.
Yeah.
We're getting another spin-off to Fate. We're getting Isekai Cheat Magician.
Hey, have you guys heard of or watched Stray Dogs?
Bungo Stray Dogs?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
I watched
There's a bunch of authors and stuff. And Japanese like authors and poets.
Yeah, that have powers and
crime,
shit. Yeah. As like the greatest like supernatural detectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it, and then like halfway through, they go back in time to do like the rest of the seasons. Then back in time, just doing the beginning of the story.
All right, you might be excited to learn about this upcoming show, AJ, because I know you have a bit of a Oedipus complex. Just fucking with you. But it is called "Do You Like Your Mom?" Her normal attack is 2 attacks at full power.
That's what it's called?
Yes.
That is, I'm gonna be honest. That's actually a really cool title. Just
Do you like your mom? She has 2 attacks, and it's...
And then we're getting Dumbbell Na Kimo, whatever the fuck, the exercisey one that we keep talking
which
about.
it looks really good too. I actually sent a
Hey, did
video to it.
Himamatsu Sumo, did it flop? Hinumatsu?
It had a pretty good score on here last time I looked.
Alright, good. Because it was
Will
actually
you
really...
please like hentai if it's cute? That's a new show coming out.
Probably not. I mean,
Harem. It's a harem romance.
You want a dirty hentai, you know?
I kind of see that because for some reason I'm picturing like the mangaka one.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, think about it this way.
Then we got...
Next time we meet, we don't have to do one of these. We only have to do it next Saturday.
It's called Mamu Sama Retry. I don't know what this is. Tagechi Senpai. She looks like a magician. Something called Beam or Bem. B-E-M. Like Ben, but an M.
Yeah. Bem.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. A bunch of Japanese titles I don't want to read. Ooh, I've heard of this one. Maidens of Your Savage Season.
Maidens or
Drama.
maidens?
Maidens of Your Savage Season. It's about puberty.
It's about John Madden.
No, it's about puberty. Oh, Sacred Beast. This is another one. I've actually read a little bit of the manga for this one. To the Abandoned Sacred Beast is getting an anime. Yeah, there's just a bunch. I don't want to read all these. There's a bunch of shit.
I was just looking for Food Wars.
No, there's nothing about Food Wars.
Weird. I swear I saw something. I mean, I know My Hero comes out pretty soon, but I think it's like fall.
Oh, it looks like Slime's getting an OVA. The only other thing on here that looks remotely interesting is So Una Deska.
Does it have English?
I'm really good. Are you lost? Yes, trying to read that title. I am very lost. And this show here called Machikado Mazoku?
Mazaku.
I don't know, awakening her dormant abilities as a devil one day, Yuko Yamada, aka the Snow Mistress, is entrusted with the mission to defeat the Light Clan Shrine Maiden, a magical girl by her ancestor Lilith. So it looks like a battle between a demon and a magical girl where they become friends because it's a comedy slice of life for coma.
Of course it is.
So yeah, magical girl and a demon becoming best friends sounds pretty funny to me.
It's funny because when you were spelling that out and I said Mazaku, first thing I thought of was Yu Yu Hakusho because that's what they were calling him towards the end.
Maybe.
Like, he's a Mazaku, a sleeper.
And with that, we are going to wrap this up because I need to go home and feed my dog.
Feed my dog.
Gotta feed my dog. He's a good dog.
We've been doing this for almost an hour.
He's
20 minutes.
Old ass dog. He's like 12, we established earlier. Old dog. Don't know how much longer he's got. Parents don't like him taking places because he's too big. But they'll take their miniature dots in places because she's tiny. Anyway, thanks for watching or listening or whatever podcast. We do stuff here. Watch the other things that we make. Word to your mother.
Please.
That's Vanilla Ice for you.